So many amazing people put in work for the last 3 days. Speakers on the program, stand up where you're at. The prep, just the nuggets, the making me realize I mistrained 5,000 college students the last 15 years. Can we give them a round of applause? That was awesome. You guys we're spoiled because we get them all the time. Carrie Smolensky and their team, they are amazing. Let's give them a huge round of applause. And lastly, Dave Bush, Alicia Ander, Josh Mueller, Brian Carter, if you four could stand up individually, I don't even need to tell this group about you guys. They know it, they feel it. Let's give them the biggest round of applause. That is awesome. So breaking news, recruited someone recently. I don't even think Dave knows about this person. So Cutco's been around since, I'm gonna act like I'm in training. Cutco's been around since 1949. And recently is a relative term, but recently for most. And this person, they're gonna be responsible for making changes, shifting our culture, improvements as they see fit within our company. And I am so excited for this person because they have what it takes. They've prepared for this moment. They have a leadership role. There are people who listen to what this person has to say. This person has influence. And I could not be more excited because this person could be the difference that's needed for Cutco to go from a $250 million company to a $1 billion company. You guys ready to find out? Yeah. Okay. It's you. I want to talk to our veterans for a moment. I have been where many of you are. June 2nd will be my 16-year anniversary of launching out of training, not knowing what the hell I was doing. And what happens when you've been here for a while, or you've been doing anything for a while, it could be a marriage, it could be a job, it could be parenting. You can get jaded. You can, instead of thinking about what's possible, get stuck in the past. Who relates? So you develop grass is greener syndrome, and I don't mean leaving Cutco, although those moments happen to everyone, myself included. What I'm talking about is thinking statements like, man, if I was just in that division, or if I was just in that region, I would be better. Or things like, that team, that events team, they've got it all figured out. That's why they're better than us. And that's why they're better than me. Or, like my division manager was Nadine McGowan. Oh, if Nadine just realized blank, we'd be number one and I'd be doing better. Nadine. Or Jeff, my region manager, gosh, if Jeff just, he hasn't sold Cutco in 20 years. He just doesn't get it. If he would do blank, I would be better. Who sees an issue with that thinking? We all should. Because the reality is that it's on us. There's a Matthew West song. It's a Christian song, and I think that you'll understand the comparison whether you're a Christian or not. But it's not my favorite song, but it's definitely one that speaks to me most. So it goes like this. It says, I just couldn't bear the thought of people living in poverty, children sold into slavery. The thought disgusted me. So I shook my fist at heaven. I said, God, why don't you do something? So then he goes on and he tells us God's response. He said, I did. I created you. Veterans, if you've caught yourself saying things like, if so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that, wake up. Like, you're the difference maker. It's you. So if you've been given an idea and it's been put in your head, if the thought has been given to you, it's something that's for you, for you to change and you to improve. You're the one that's supposed to do it. You're the one that's supposed to raise the expectations. You're the one that's supposed to lead the charge. You're the one that's supposed to change the culture. You're the one that's supposed to be the shining light and example for everyone around you, not someone else. For years, I looked at sales reports and I looked at every other reason beating the crap out of us. And for years, I wanted to complain about my DVM counterparts, and I wanted to complain about my regional manager, and I wanted to complain about my DMs. And I one day realized, God just put in my heart, dude, that's why I put you there. Like, you're the one that's supposed to make that change. And overnight, the way I viewed all of my coworkers and everybody around me changed. Did they change, or did the lens that I was viewing them through change? It was on me. John Berghoff. Who's a big John Berghoff fan? Oh my gosh. Dude, when I was a rep, it was him and Hal and Vroman on repeat in between every demo. Who listens to talks in between demos or whatever instead of songs? That was me. The iPod shuffle, baby. It was on fire. It was on fire. I literally paid however much money it was to have a John and Hal talking machine. It was great. And John, during COVID, on Dan's podcast, he said a quote that I will never forget. He said, if you can't admit you're part of the problem, you don't get to be part of the solution. If you can't admit you are part of the problem, you can't allow yourself to be part of the solution. And it was so eye-opening to me of, holy cow. How am I going to help if I can't? It was immediately a mirror in the face of, what are you going to do with this new information? Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mother Teresa, LeBron James. Oh, I snuck away and watched the game. It was good. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Oprah Winfrey, Rosa Parks. I've never heard any report of any of them saying, you know what allowed me to accomplish my goal? I waited for someone else to do it for me. It is you. First time attendees. Who's first time net? This is great. This is good. Let's say first time in-person net. Hands back up. Couple more there. Okay. I envy you so much. I envy you so much because you have what a lot of us have lost over the years, and that is the ability to dream without hesitation and without fear. I can remember, this is Brett circa 2008. This is my branch summer. This is our St. Elmo Champions Night dinner. I'm eating like that because I hadn't ate in 3 months. It was great. And who's branch, by the way? Raise your, so good. So good. I can remember we were at our big kill meeting. Last big staffer before summer started. Everybody was going around sharing their goals. And the feedback people were giving were like somebody would say a big goal for summer, and the feedback my DVM, a couple of the veteran DMs would give was, yeah, that's a good goal. Kind of like, oh, bless your heart. That's a good goal. But what's your, the goal that you know you can hit? The goal that you're the minimum. What's that one? So everybody played the game and said, oh, I'm $100,000 or I don't know, 75. Or I just want to have a good summer. And it got to me and I said, my goal is $500K. I'm going to ship $500,000 come hell or high water. You're not going to change my goal, so do not ask me. And they all looked around and go, okay. And looking back in hindsight, what an idiot, okay? I was such an idiot. But that idiot did $160,000 and hit the national trip. Why? Because what happens when you're brand new, you haven't gotten hurt yet. It's kind of like your first real relationship. You go all in, dude. Oh, you save every note. You stay on the phone late. It's so gross, okay? But it's it's your first real relationship. And the issue with that is that when that relationship ends, you cry like a baby. And what happens is, the next time you think about getting in a relationship, you're like, pump the brakes. I don't know. I'm a little scared to get back in. That one hurts. So what happens when you're just starting to take this Cutco thing seriously is you make these big, huge, audacious, amazing goals. And because what are you going to fear? You don't know what it feels like to fall on your face yet. And because of that thinking, you do things that you aren't prepared for yet. You start accomplishing more than you're supposed to. You aren't even trained for yet. You don't have the skills for yet. Just out of sheer will and determination and a find-a-way attitude, you accomplish something amazing. And that is why I envy you. I also envy you because of the growth that you're going to experience this year. I remember when I got promoted to DVC, Earl Kelly. Who's an Earl Kelly fan in the house? Okay. Earl. Jeff's my number one. Earl's my guy. Okay. Earl was my region manager from like 09 to 11 or 12. And I remember I got promoted and I was so excited to see Earl at SLC. I was like, I can't wait to tell Earl. I'm so fired. I go, Earl. He goes, dude, I heard. I'm so excited for you. Get ready to grow. I was so pissed off at him. I was freaking pissed. I'm like, dude, get ready. Screw you, dude. I am going to cry. Oh, pride come before the fall, huh? That was tough. He was right. But I'm jealous because you get to grow. Because if things go right, you're going to fail a lot. You're going to fall on your face. Because champions don't always win. They get up one more time and they fall. You're going to crush it. And because of that, you're going to grow more than anyone else in the room. And because of that, you are going to have an amazing 2023 if you go all in fearless. Now, some of you person sitting in this room who just found out what a good knife was 2 years ago, you will emerge as a difference maker. Some of you will be the reasons why we eventually take this $250 million company and we laugh at our $250 million years eventually. You don't know it yet, but some of you are future event coordinators. Some of you will be wearing a Rolex someday. Some of you will be in our Hall of Fame someday, and you're in this room right now, and the growth you experience this year is what's going to allow you to do that. Your failures this year are what's going to allow you to do that. Veterans, if there's anything I'm talking to myself here as well, can take away from our younger counterparts, we need to be fearless. One of our event coordinators, Kaiser Schwartz, he shared with me years ago that when he told his dad he was going to take this Cutco thing seriously, his dad told him a story. When his dad went out in his late 20s, he went out and started deciding, I'm going to flip houses. Before flipping houses was cool, okay? And he failed miserably. And the issue with this is he wasn't a 20-something, like, excited to sell knives. He was like a 20-something, 30-something that had a family and kids. And that didn't cause very good things to happen in the family. And when Kaiser told me he was going to take this Cutco thing to the next level, he goes, Kaiser, I am so excited for you to fail. You are going to learn things in your 20s that I had to wait until my 30s and 40s, and that's why you're going to be successful. Veterans, I have been in your shoes. I have had the thought many, many times in my career, usually after getting my teeth kicked in, that, hey, maybe I need to play it safe. Who said that thought after that long day, after that long year, after that long campaign, after that long decade? Maybe I should play it safe. Who has gotten in the past couple of years some extra responsibility in your life? A marriage, a child, a new home? Who's had that? Immediately you're like, oh no, gotta play it safe. Everything I did to get here, I need to stop doing, clearly. I've talked myself into just doing enough. I've sold myself on the idea that efficient is better. Efficient is better, but at what cost? Not if it's costing me my $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Not if it's costing me my Rolex. Not if it's my customer loyalty that's going to go out the window. Not if it's costing me my ability to build a side hustle. Not if it's costing me my chance to invest in my next property. Not if it's costing me my desire to pay off my student loans right now. Not if it's costing me my gifting campaign for my top clients. Not if my leveled up booth display goes out the window. Not if I can't take that vacation with my spouse. Not if it's costing me to live debt-free. We need to be childish enough to dream, but mature enough to adapt when things don't go perfect. We need to be childish enough to dream, but mature enough to adapt when things don't go perfect, because they won't. I don't know what your future holds. What I do know, our journey to continue being an amazing company, you play a part in that. There was a moment in time when I know all the veterans in the room can remember, it was believed and maybe even spoken from a podium that to make a difference in our company, you had to be a district or a division manager. What a bunch of idiots. Myself included. Raise your hand if you know that's not true anymore. Good, because it's not. I watched our Hoosier events team in Indiana have their first ever experience of back-to-back 100% growth years. I watched one amazing, any Wiggy fans in the house? Oh. I watched one amazing human tread water by herself for over a decade. But man, she kept that events team afloat on a scooter, okay? We welcomed Benji Lehman back to the business a few years ago. I'll never forget. Benji was working in corporate for a few years, not co-corporate, much different. I don't know what hit him. I think it was, I believe, and Benji, if you're going to correct me, do it after I'm not on stage. I believe it was promised promotions never happening and a boss who treated him like he was a number. And he said, I talked to Brittany, I think I want to start selling Cutco again. And I'll never forget him showing up at our SC1. And he was in the hallway before the push was over, phoning to try to hit Champions Night. First day back after years away. And in that moment, I don't know if I knew it or he knew it, but someone knew this is the start of something special. We knew he was on the right bus. We didn't know what the seat was. So he bounced around management a little bit. Became my pilot again, sorry. And then finally it was like events is his calling. So then he finally gave Wiggy all that help she needed for all of those years. And without Benji going all in on events, I can promise you with confidence, this rest of the story does not happen. Then along came two people who I will call disruptors. They spotted areas of opportunity, and I gave them permission to go blow stuff up. I literally said to Kaiser, you're allowed to be a bull in a china shop. He pissed a lot of people off, man. Kaiser Schwartz and Chelsea McDougall went in and tore stuff apart, and to Benji and Wiggy's credit, veteran event coordinators, don't miss this, they listened. They didn't do everything. Kaiser's not always right. Chelsea usually is. Kaiser's not. But they listened and they thought about it. And here's what happened. 2019 with Benji and Wiggy as coordinators, they did a little over 260 grand. 2020, we don't have to talk about 2020. Can I just say this? I know Dave started off the meeting saying we've moved beyond it. I have the mic. As hard as my job has been for the last year and a half as a recruiter, and it's been hard, I'm willing to bet it's been nowhere near as hard as your job was with all your events taken away from you in 2020. I am so proud of this room for how creative and assertive you were. It was truly amazing to watch. Give yourselves a round of applause. That should not go unnoticed. So, 2021, Kaiser and Chelsea both got more involved. They did $512K. And in 2022, with all four officially coordinators working through kinks, arguing, laughing, crying, fighting for their own ideas to make the team better, they battled and finished just a little over $1 million in sales for 2022. So what's the takeaway? Each of these people made an individual decision to do something great. Each of these people, they said, I think this could be better. And instead of complaining about it or bitching sideways about it. They did something about it. What if everyone in this room caused their team sales to double within the next 2 years? The takeaway is that you matter. Maybe you're in college and your plan is to just be here the next year. Maybe it's the next 4 years, or maybe you're going to build your life here. If you are in this room, you have the ability to be a part of getting us where we're destined to be. So next time you think, man, why doesn't the company do something to grow, to raise expectations, to impact more people? Don't forget, we already did. We recruited you. It has been an honor to be a part of NET. We only get one 2023. There's no do-overs. Let's make it great. Cheers.